The ICF Canoe Sprint World Championships are brought to you by the Province of Ontario, the Government of Canada, and Tourism Niagara.
This is race 21, heat 2 of the C2 Junior Men's 1,000 meter.
Yeah, and I like our chances here, Tom. In lane number 1's the Korean boat, Shin and Choi. In lane number 2, the Canadian crew of Jeremy Stott and Evan Besmer, coached by Kyle Jeffrey. They mean business in this race. Keep an eye on them. Lane 3 is France's Joyez and LeBlanc. Lane 4 is Keller and Dunkel from Germany. Ukraine's Manziuk and Mischuk, Santos and Santos from Brazil in lane 6. Venezuela's Orlando Veras and Ceballos in lane number 7. Japan's in lane number 8, Aramura and Suzuki.
They're the Canadian boys, Jeremy and Evan. I watched these guys win this entry at our national team trials about a month ago. Solid crew, very strong. Jeremy right there is just keeping the boat right up against that boot. That's those little mini strokes he's taking. We call them feathering. Keeps the balance, keeps the boat right where you want it, and it's skill. It takes a long time to develop the ability to A, kneel in a boat like that, but then B, to be able to manipulate it with these subtle little paddle strokes. Watch the Germans in lane 4. They're going to be very strong. We haven't seen them race yet. They weren't at the Europeans. Safe bet they're going to be a good crew. Ukraine in lane 5 is also going to be strong. They were second at the Junior Europeans, similar time to what we just saw the Hungarians put down, a 3:42.
And there we have a start, Tom, and keep your eye on lane 2, the Canadians. And look at the start they've gotten off to. They've got a great start going on here, and on the outside in lane number 8, it looks like the Indian crew as well, pardon me, the Japanese crew as well is moving fine. But keep your eye on lane number 2, the Canadians.
Yeah, it's an excellent start for the Canadians. That's what you need to be. You cannot afford to be behind off the line. Just doesn't work. Nothing happens if you're behind off the line.
But remember, guys, here we have in lane number 2 of the Canadian crew of Jeremy Stott and Evan Besmer. And here they come, a great shot from the field as they power their way through the course. But the Ukrainian crew of Manziuk and Mischuk got a great start, and same with the Germans, Keller and Dunkel. What are you seeing, Tom?
Well, I think that watching the start, that Ukrainian crew in lane 5 really shot off the line strong. So they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. It looked like them and the Canadians were first off the line, but things changed very quickly after about 100 meters. Look at the double right-sided crew in lane 1, the Koreans. Sometimes if you don't have a left and a right, you've got to go, and if you want to race the race, you have to have two people on the same side. It is a disadvantage. It's very difficult to keep the boat running straight like that for the obvious reason that both paddles are on the same side. It is doable, however, but it's very hard to win a race like that.
And I like the look of our Canadian crew in lane 2. They've got this red boat going on, and you're going to see them coming up. There they are right there in lane number 2 with the blue boat and the red jerseys. Jeremy Stott and Evan Besmer plowing their way home in this heat 2 race.
Excellent rhythm on these two guys. Look at the boat just surging forward like we saw with the Hungarians. That's what you want. Nice, nice, smooth boat. I really enjoy the way they've got a solid reach, nice catch, and they look nice and relaxed. Look at lane 5, Ukraine. They're fighting a little bit harder. We're getting to the 500 meter. It's Ukraine and Canada at the 500 meter mark, neck and neck. Two blue boats. Ukraine maybe just ahead of Canada. Fast times. Germany, right in between those two boats, is sitting in third with, it looks like, France in fourth.
And I was talking to the Canadian coach last night, Kyle Jeffrey, and I said, Kyle, how are you guys feeling? He goes, these guys can pop it. They've done it a couple of times in practice, but it's going to take their best performance to hit the podium here. But what a great race for these kids as they're in solid contention here to advance directly to the finals.
Yeah, remember, it's top 3 direct to final, 4 to 7 to the semifinals. So these guys want to come in top 3, and right now it looks to me like they're sitting in first or second.
And Evan Besmer from the Mississauga Canoe Club with Jeremy Stott from the Burloak Canoe Club. Hometown crew coming into view here now with a hometown crowd. And you're going to hear this crowd lighted up as Besmer and Stott have a great race going on here in the Junior Men's C2 1,000 meter heat number 2.
Yeah, they're approaching the 250 mark. Last quarter of the race. They're really going to have to turn it up now. That Ukrainian crew has gotten a little bit of distance out ahead of them. We knew they were going to be fast based on the previous results. Here come the Germans. It's going to be critical for the Canadians to keep the French crew in lane 3 in the red boat behind them. They have to come in top 3. Look at the Germans move now. They're moving very quickly. The Ukrainians and the Germans have just pulled away from the field, but the Canadians are still in there for third place.
I like the look of the leaders here too, Tom. They have really got a nice race going on, but keep your eye on the blue boat with the red jerseys. The Canadians are starting to pick it up, and they're making a move on the German crew now. And here we go down to the finish. You can see the race coming into view. This is going to be a nail biter. Here come the Canadians. They're challenging for second.
The Canadians aren't the biggest guys on the water, but they're paddling well, and they've got a nice high rate. You can see the pain in their faces. They're coming and they're fighting for third with the French crew. If they can keep just a little bit ahead of them, they'll get it directly to that final, which is where they want to be. They do not want to race the semifinal. Ukraine has got this by a boat and a half. Germany and then Canada is safely in third. Direct to final for those Canadian boys. This is a huge deal.